to show also just the hard work we've put in, even just getting Tusker on board with the Next Stars program. It's also something that we have been working really hard on. It took us about 3 years also to get them on board. And through that, one of the thinking was Tosh, as you all know, director of Nairobi Half-Life. And so he got an opportunity through mentorship and through having an experience like that.
Yeah, when I look at the South African market, we started film way before them here. And now we cannot even be compared.
Hello, everybody. And today we are talking about volume, discussing volume with the makers, the people behind volume. We have the crew members, producer, director, extraordinaire, Madam Makeup over there. Everybody's going to introduce themselves. So my name is Mona Ombogo. I was the head writer on Volume. I've been in this industry for a very long time. I won't say how long because, we want to defy age. So head writing on Volume helped with Tosh creating the structure of Volume from, beginning to end. And Volume, in short, is a story about a young boy he wants to become a rapper. And he's from a highly disadvantaged, one of our highly disadvantaged neighborhoods, going through the throes of, peer pressure, difficulty of bringing our dreams to fruition, also trying to overcome what his parents want for him and following the legacy of his father, because his father was a musician. So I want to throw this very first question to the director and one of the creators of our Volume, and executive producer, Omera. Yes. Mr. Tosh Gitonga. We all know Tosh. Tosh is a legend in this industry. He's been there from the very beginning, from AD to still doing a lot of adverts, and then, coming into film via Nairobi Half-Life, which was a groundbreaker in so many ways. So Tosh, talk to us. Tell us first about yourself.
My name is Tosh Gitonga. I am an African filmmaker. I'm passionate about telling the African stories through this medium in the most colorful way, in the most authentic way. It doesn't matter that we are from Africa, that we cannot be seen side by side with the rest of the world. And that's what drives me. I'm always like, I can make a film like Christopher Nolan. I can make a film like Scorsese. Unfortunately, I just don't have the same resources or the market
yet.
And so that shouldn't stop me. And I feel that we still haven't even scratched the surface with all the stories that we can tell about us.
Me and you have worked a lot with each other. And we were just laughing before we came on how we have portfolios. We have like a wardrobe full of shows, right, that we're making. So why do you think Volume is one of the ones that got made? What makes Volume special?
I think Volume, actually, it's been a journey with Joe here.
About 6-7 years.
Yeah, I think the first time Volume came into my head was because of Joe.
Oh.
Joe had just started out working with us, and then he wasn't showing up at work. And I was like, what's going on?
Come on.
True
now.
story.
It's
True story.
Up for debate, but
So I asked, where's Joe? And he said, oh, Joe's going through, he just lost a friend, and he's dealing with that. He's helping. I was like, oh, okay. It's normal for someone to go away. And then it shortly happened again, right?
Yeah.
And so now I was compelled to ask, it's not normal to just lose
Friends.
people,
Back
just,
to back
back to back. So I was compelled to ask him. Yeah, and unfortunately it was due to, I can talk about it, right? It was due to suicide.
Okay.
And that got me, I think it was a shock for me, because I was like, okay, I had also heard about somebody else losing their younger brother. A friend of mine had also lost his 19-year-old brother. So it was like, what's going on with these young people? And so I delved into it a little bit and found out that, oh my God, there's a huge mental there's people going through a lot. And for me, I was like, there's nobody talking about it. There's no one, dealing with it. What's going on? And because I'm a filmmaker, it's the first thing that came to my mind. And so the more I find out, the more I found out why these young guys were going through this stuff is because of the same things that we went through. But I realized that times are different.
Yeah.
When I was 19, I didn't have Instagram to see other young people flaunting Mercedes Benzes and making me think I'm inadequate. And so the birth of Volume happens with Jiri Karago, who is also another young filmmaker that we're working with. And we started workshopping this idea. And we wanted to represent
Yes.
everyone we could, and everybody can be able to latch on to who
Somebody.
they
yeah.
feel, this is my life.
And I think it was also testament to our director, one of our directors, Abu, on how, like, I wrote it with my team of writers and watching
as,
on
as
screen.
we are old. So we had to bring in a young director.
We had to do someone who can see. Yeah, and it's funny you should say that because I was watching it and some of the choices, I was like, I never would have made that choice, if I was the one directing it. So take us through that. And two things. One is how you brought the characters out to life even more than what we envisioned. And two, you connected with the cast members on a very deep level.
I'm Abu Melita, a filmmaker, directed 3 episodes in Volume. Started out as a grip, as a crew on set.
Abu is testament that you can be anything you want, you know. He started off as a grip,
Wow.
and he decided, no, I want to be telling the stories, and now here he
Look
is.
at him.
I remember starting out and all the sets I'd go for commercials, we only had white directors. And I remember the first Kenyan director I saw doing a commercial was Tosh. And I know, and that's when I realized.
We fought hard.
Yeah, and I realized actually, to such a small market, it felt like an opportunity for us to really tell our stories with our own voices, Kenyans. And
Yeah.
being part of Volume was a big blessing and opportunity as well. And I've always said I think it's the whole essence of Nexters, because Tosh could have easily done
His
the
thing
whole series.
and
He'd
been
have
on his
easily
way.
done the whole series.
Yeah.
So I think first for bringing me on board, shukran sana. That's me. Then now Volume, I think the most important thing was the premise upon which Volume was set. It was young guys who are raw and they were authentic to themselves. And even from some of the feedback we keep hearing, I think the most important thing is for people to realize and understand the generation, those guys, that's who they are. Mm-hmm. That's how they talk. That's how they address their issues. So I think even for directing, we already won the battle halfway by having characters who are authentic, by having them actors who brought to life their characters in a real way. Most of them knew someone who's committed suicide at their age. Most of them knew someone who's struggling to just make it in their industry. I think it was so easy. Everyone related to something or an element of someone in the script. For me, I think it felt close because I knew I could relate to the struggle of someone really wanting to make it in an industry. I could relate to his wish and his desire to be the best he can and the challenges.
It's funny what you're saying about young people. And I think a lot of it is because of what Tosh is saying.
Yeah, the world's changing.
Yeah, we could fail privately. You almost can't fail privately anymore. So Joe, did you ever imagine that Volume would become a show? And what was the journey for you?
So also for me in the journey is that I started in Volume production as a production assistant. And then I went on to becoming the third AD when we were shooting the pilot. And then when we actually shot the series, I'm the producer. So as I was saying, guys, hard work pays off, because this is one show that has been such a huge journey for me. To show also just the hard work we've put in, even just getting Tusker on board with the Nexters program. It's also something that we have been working really hard on. It took us about 3 years also to get them on board. And so with them, they were able to let us have some mentees with us during the shoot. So we had 28 young up-and-coming filmmakers. And through that, one of the thinking was Tosh, as you all know, director of Nairobi Half-Life. And so he got an opportunity through mentorship and through having an experience like that.
The mentorship thing, I'd forgotten actually. That's how Tosh and I met. So did we know each other already? No, we knew each other already.
We knew each other, yeah.
Yeah, so we met on that, and we were both in this director class. And at the end, it was a choice between me and Tosh to shoot Nairobi Half-Life. Remember?
Oh, really?
I remember that at the end, yeah.
God.
But we are
So you'd
still
have
friends.
been Mona Gitonga, the famous.
Yeah.
It could be.
I could have been director, extra. Were it not for you,
Legend
Tosh.
has
Tosh.
Legend has it.
Legend has it. So the mentorship thing, it's very powerful.
Even me bringing it up. Actually, how I pitched this to Tusker was like, guys, you have done music. No one is doing film, man. And for me, I really hope that this inspires even more creatives, more corporates, to come on board to drive our culture back up. Yeah, when I look at the South African market, we started film way before them here, and now we cannot even be compared, you know. And that shouldn't be the case. It's not just about taking photographs. It's a whole new world that we must connect with, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to keep going. And I'm really proud of Tusker coming on board. And most importantly, that it's not a one-off journey.
Stacey.
Yes.
You do makeup,
Yes.
and you did makeup
Yes.
for the set.
Yes.
So yeah, take us a little bit through that, especially again working with younger people who I think are a lot more particular. So how did you navigate that, and how did you create this beautiful picture we saw in the end?
So my name is Stacey Gishinjo. I am a makeup artist, but I mostly deal with special effects. I could say I'm also a mentee because the person who brought me on board is Melissa. We've worked with her for like 2 years. So I'm still fresh in the industry, but I'm so glad she brought me on board because the script, the characters, we bonded a lot. I mean, we are almost age mates, so we bonded a
Abu,
lot.
you've heard, you're not as young as you think. No, you've been overtaken.
So we bonded a lot. It was fun. It was a fun set for me, I should add. You have to internalize the script to understand how do I want this particular character to come out as. So ideally, makeup is just to bring the scriptwriter's idea to life.
Yeah, I think you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And I like how you're saying, because we don't think of makeup.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty beautiful. What was the hardest part?
I think the biggest challenge was trying to explain to a particular character that you are not going as, for example, as Stacey. You are going as, let's say, Tosh. You have to make them understand that I know you want to go as Stacey, but you have to go.
Beautiful. And as Tosh.
As old as Tosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, Tosh. Good-looking
Shots
man.
fired.
As old as Tosh.
Good-looking man, Tosh.
Yeah.
As old as
I think
Tosh.
that was the biggest challenge. But after they understood that they are going to portray a certain character, the rest of the ride was just smooth for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people or people wanting to get into this profession must understand it's a lot of work.
Hard.
Because I like looking at feedback. And I find it very amusing because most of it is just really preference.
Yeah.
You see someone say, I don't like Castro. He did this too. And that show is shit. Or I expected the musical show. Why are we showing crime? So it's interesting. And then you have to be in a space where you're able to understand how you created this whole thing. Because sometimes some stuff can make you be like, hey, should I be doing this thing?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me is when I was young in this industry, it was so much harder. And one of the things I vowed to do in the industry was to make sure
Make it a bit
that
easier.
I make it a bit easier.
Or at least give a small road map.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
as long as you're talented, I don't care if you've done a movie before.
Yeah.
Do you have the talent? Do you have the discipline? You know, because we all learn. Everybody has learned, you know. And then sometimes you hear people say there's gatekeeping. Like, "Cha."